I'm going to read a tweet that I tweeted not too long ago, and I want to open it up for a conversation on today's video. I want you guys to kind of think, which I do think, kind of think through the tweet itself, and then I think it kind of combines with the overall theme of, I think, what the videos on this channel usually are in terms of the happenings of the world and this, that, and the other. But let me go ahead and read the tweet. So it's kind of like twofold. I kind of started off with one overall. I'll just read both of them. My fault. The first tweet I said, poor mental health and demonic possession are my top 2 picks for what's causing all the evil in this world. Has to be, right? I then continue on and say my top 3 picks for the causes of evil in our world. Number 1, demonic possession. Number 2, poor mental health. Number 3, the glorification of violence via movies, music, media, etc. I said the times feel darker than ever. Something ain't right. Right? My thoughts behind those tweets. Of course, a lot of the things that I tweet, depending on the mood or the case is, I do feel heartfelt about, man. Usually, I probably get some type of idea, or maybe I'm scrolling through Twitter and maybe see something that maybe causes the tweet or whatever the case is. But this one in particular was one of those situations where, again, I feel like our world right now, as I said in the tweet, things feel different. The times feel different. It feels darker. Now people always rebuttal and say, oh, man, the times are always this, that, and the other, man. Look at history, man. The times were always this, that, and the other. Yeah, I hear you. But for me, this seems different. And maybe I think we're all growing maybe numb to it. But nonetheless, anyway, the question I want to present is, what do you guys think about that? In terms of the evil in the world, if we were to take it a step deeper and say, okay, yeah, there's always evil in the world, right? Okay, cool. I understand that. There's always evil in the world. But if we wanted to put our philosopher hats on, right? And question why is there this type of evil? What is the causes of some of the things, of course, of the things that we've been seeing lately in the news? Some of it just doesn't seem normal. Like, what do we chalk it up to, right? I think I'm trying to get to the point of what do you think is the cause of, how can somebody rationalize in their mind, hey, tomorrow I'm going to wake up, get dressed, eat breakfast, I'm going to go in my car, take this AK-47 or whatever assault rifle, I'm going to go to this elementary school and I'm going to shoot it up. That's a plan for tomorrow, right? Or, hey, I'm going to go in this grocery store. Name any setting, all the settings. Now it seems like no place is safe. It could happen in a church. It could happen in a school. It could happen anywhere, grocery store, whatever. What do you think is the thought that that person rationalizes their mind to say, yes, this is what I'm going to do today. This is the move for today. Do you think it's mental health? Right? I think that's the easy one. Mental health. Like, oh, man, clearly these people are not sober in the mind. They are not of what they call sound mind and sound body, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. Okay, yeah, we can say mental health. Of course, they're not well. Cool. But I want to take it a step deeper because I feel like we can chalk it up to mental health, but then a lot of the people's, in the situations where these people don't end up dead or, whatever the case is, either they take out themselves or the police take them out or whatever the case is, and you do get to kind of talk to them and you ask them why. They'll tell you, then they start diving into their past history. Oh, he had a rough childhood. Oh, he was bullied at school, this, that, and the other. This, ooh. And then, again, you could chalk that all up to mental health if you wanted to. But it's just like, would it be far-fetched to say that some of these things that are maybe fuel to the fire is maybe our culture? I'm sorry, I'm scratching my back. I'm sorry, I didn't even notice. Sitting here scratching my back. Would you say that? Would you say would it be far fetched to say that maybe it's the glorification of some of these things in movies? Think about it, man. Like the video games, the movies that are just getting more and more realistic with more and more realistic storylines, and people immerse themselves in these, alternate realities, whatever the cases you want to call them. Do you think we're kind of growing numb? It's almost like how you kind of, you hear a song on the radio and some people say, oh, nah, man, it can't be that. That's nothing, whatever the case is. But it's almost like, I would argue and say it's almost kind of sort of like how you hear a song on the radio or that, catchy commercial that you hate. You probably don't even like the commercial, but it has this little ring to it, and all of a sudden it kind of seeps into your subconscious and now it's a part of you. I would argue, especially in this Western culture, man, in America, whatever the case is, I think people have the audacity to pick up a gun and like, all right, bet I'm about to go shoot up the school or gang wars, whatever the case is. It's because the music encouraged you to do it. The movies encourage you to do it. You've seen it so beautifully depicted in movies and video games where it's just like, I think I could do that. I like even robbing a bank. Like nothing in my mind, and this is coming from a former bank teller. Nothing in my mind tells me that I could successfully pull off a bank robbery, but yet people are doing it till this day, whether it's sliding a note or going up and, hey, everybody put your hands up, whatever the case is. Nothing in my mind, as somebody who once worked at a bank, would ever tell me I could successfully pull off a bank robbery, but people still do it. Is it the movies? What encourages you to like, hey, let's rob this Brinks truck? Somebody and again, I'm speaking on things that I've recently seen in the news. Notice everything I'm speaking on has been recent in the news, whether they shot up the bank, whether they robbed the Brinks truck, whether they shot up a school. Are we chalking up all these events to just poor mental health? All of these events, do you think we could just, oh man, poor mental health or circumstances, man? These people are, they don't have the right opportunities, whatever the case is. I think, in my personal opinion, like I said in the tweet, I think something more darker, more sinister is unfolding now. And again, okay, yeah, times have always been dark, times have always been, but something feels different. Like something feels different now. It feels off a little bit, I'm starting to think like maybe there's something greater at play that's doing a couple of things. That's allowing people to comfortably have the audacity to execute these things, and maybe us growing more numb to the after effect of these things that are happening. I'll even speak for myself, man. I'm not going to lie. When you read headline after headline after headline after headline after headline of just these atrocities and senseless killings in the world, it's just like you kind of grow. I'll speak for myself. I've kind of grown a little numb. Like, damn, bro. And it's sad that it has gotten to this point, because I feel like equal, if not more, outrage should happen every single time something like this happens. But it's like the more and more you hear it, the more and more people chalk it up to, oh, okay, well, such is life, right? Whatever the case is. And I don't think it should be like that. So again, kind of tapping into the metaphysical, the spiritual, if for anybody out there who's watching this video and you have that type of background, what do you make of all of this? What do you chalk it up to? Is it just end times? Is it demonic forces, which I personally believe? I believe, honestly, personally, based off of my own spiritual journey, some of the things that I believe from my upbringing, stories that I've heard from other encounters of other people, from somewhat I would deem somewhat credible. I think there are greater things at play, for especially if you're somebody who believes in like voodoo and black magic and witchcraft, and these things are real. These things are not, things from a cartoon or a movie. Like, we all probably know somebody who practices something in this realm. So is it a stretch to say maybe demonic possession is at play with some of these atrocities that happen in the world? I don't think so. I personally have mentioned before on this channel, I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure I probably have, but I personally believe in angels and demons. I believe in God. I believe in the devil. I believe in spiritual warfare, good and evil. I honestly believe when we speak of aliens, I don't think it's aliens. I think it's spirits. In my honest opinion, when we hear, oh, the aliens are coming, the aliens are here, think about it. Do you think it's the aliens from the movies with the beady eyes and the, Alien versus Predator and things like that? Is that what you're waiting to see? Because, again, what you believe in scriptures, what are the cases? If you were to see an angel in front of you, you think it's just a pretty looking angel. If you Google right now a photo of an angel, you would probably consider that alien. You would consider that otherworldly. So what are these aliens, and there's these images of spaceships and this, that, the other. If any of that stuff is either real, I think when people say aliens, what if we're talking about spirits? Oh, the aliens are coming. The aliens are here. Oh, there's, what if how will they communicate with us? And what type of technology will they have? Like, I believe that there are spiritual forces at play that at any moment have the ability to intercept the minds and the bodies of any human or animal. I believe the only criteria a spirit needs to take it over is if it has a brain and a heart. So that includes the animals as well too. The brain, if it has a beating heart and a functioning brain, I think spiritual entities could at any moment come over and intercept your thoughts, and you think it's you seamlessly, because I feel like a lot of people don't put up a barrier enough in their mind. So it's just like you're susceptible to these overtakings, or whatever you want to call it, unbeknownst to you, as they say, right? It's just like, I believe in these things, man. Again, this might all just be blah to you, like, come on, you had me at mental health, right? Maybe the talks of the spiritual or the metaphysical is all hoopla to you, but I honestly believe something greater is at play. I can't just chalk all of these things up to, oh man, these people are just mad because their conditions are, not ideal, and their mental health is deteriorating, man. So that's why the shootings. I think we're all just pawns on a chessboard being manipulated by something greater than us. That's what I believe. Think about it, bro. Like, you hear these talks about artists and demonic expressions on concerts and this, that, these rituals that are held in undisclosed locations and things like that. Somebody believes this stuff. Sacrifices, family sacrifices, animal sacrifices, children sacrifices. You hear about these things, man. Is all of that all hoopla? Somebody knows something, I feel like. I just don't think we can just chalk this up to, oh man, poor them, It's just starting to be a little bit much now, to the point where it's just like, this feels different. Yeah, there's always been evil, but this feels different.